Hey everyone, it's Monday. I know I said it was going to be advice week this week, but I actually didn't get asked any questions. Um, so what I thought is, if you lot got asked any questions, and that's fine to address them in your video. But I thought I'd start like another topic as well. It was one that we discussed on the Seven Yummy Mummies blog, which I haven't written on in forever, a while back. And it's just to do with like other people's kids and how you deal with like other people's children, like with spitefulness and stuff like that. And I'm quite lucky because I've really only had to deal with like the other side of it, like dealing with them rather than dealing with my own, because my own kids, I know everyone says their kids are great and that, but my kids are just so well behaved and they're not spiteful or malicious. They never, apart from with each other, they'll start on each other, but they won't go and start on like random kids or anything. And I mean, Brett, my oldest, he's like really into wrestling and WWE, and he'll try and wrestle with Courtney and stuff, which she doesn't mind. She like loves it most of the time anyway. But he won't like try and do it with anyone else. Like he wouldn't go and do it with like and any other children. Like I think like they sort of like have like little fights, like play fights in the playground sometimes at school, but nothing too serious. He never gets bump notes home or anything like that. See what Lucy's doing. Friday night we went over to my friend's house, who's got a little boy who's like a year younger than Brett, and he's as well really into wrestling, and he always wrestles Brett, even though Brett's like more sort of, he won't initiate it, but he says he doesn't mind if he does it, but like sometimes he sort of does mind, and you can tell that he minds. And what he done was the dad just did keep telling the boy to stop wrestling, no wrestling, but he just persevered in doing it anyway. And eventually I could tell Brett was getting really fed up and annoyed, and the little boy got him into a Boston Crab, which I don't know if you watch wrestling, but basically what it is like basically I haven't got any of his figures to show you. That would have been good for like a visual aid, but I'll use my finger so you can sort of get an idea. Basically they get the legs, say that's the person, they'll get the leg and bend them round like that, and then like bend them around like that, sorry. So say that's the legs pointed upwards, and then sort of sit on the back to sort of compress the spine. And that's what this little boy done to Brett the other night, and he sat on him really hard, and you could tell that it really did hurt him. And he doesn't really cry that much if he hurts himself. It really takes him to be quite hurt if he's gonna cry. And he did sort of, I told the little boy to get off him, and he got up and, sort of went out of the room, and I could see that his sort of bottom lip was going, and his eyes were going a bit red and stuff. But, he's a boy, so he doesn't really want to sort of convey that. So he went out of the room, and, he eventually did calm down, but he was a bit quiet and that after that. But, something like that could, that could have really sort of hurt him. It could have even like broken his back or something if they weren't careful. But I think with other people's children, it's just so hard to tell them, especially when the parent's been telling them as it is. It's so hard to sort of take over and, sort of enforce it, I suppose. I mean, I kept saying to Brett, no wrestling, no wrestling, no wrestling, but it wasn't him that was doing it. And if it was him that was doing it, I would have done something about it. I would have made him sit down and, we have similar situations when we go out to like play areas and stuff. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, where the kids will come down and say, oh, this kid's being horrible to me or whatever, and most of the time I'll just say, I'll just stay away from them. That's the easiest thing to do. But yeah, it is tricky because you don't really want to discipline someone else's kid, but sometimes if they won't do it themselves, you don't want your child to get hurt. So I don't know. So I thought that'd be like an interesting thing to discuss this week if you didn't have any any of the advice side of things to give out. But yeah, like I said, like with regards to my kids, I've been lucky that they've always been so well behaved, and they're not spiteful or malicious. They can be to each other sometimes, but I don't mind that. Well, I mean, I do mind it, but I can you know, rectify that. You know, I can tell them off, you know, discipline them, you know, where it's appropriate. Where if it's someone else's child, I mean, I can understand if that child has been left in your care, then of course it's perfectly reasonable for you to tell them off. And if I'd left one of my kids in someone's care, then obviously I would expect them to discipline them appropriately if they misbehaved or were spiteful to another child. But yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one, I think. You know, especially seeing as, I mean, my sister's got a little boy who's like 9, and he again is a very boisterous boy, and he was quite sort of a handful and quite spiteful and that when he was a bit younger. And she always sort of said, oh, you know, all the teachers at school and that, they always blame him, you know, it's always his fault, never the other child's fault. But like sometimes I sort of thought to myself, well, you know, it probably is. But then to be as well, like a lot of the other kids that he played with were just as bad as he was. So yeah. It's a toughie. It's, you know, I don't think you can really win or lose either way, but you know, I try to make sure that my kids are safe, and you know, obviously I can't be with them all the time at school and stuff, but you know, we're really lucky as well that the school they go to, you know, has very tough anti-bullying policies. And I think when Brett first started at infant school, when he was in reception, which is like kindergarten to you American folk, he did have some problems with some kids in like the older years, but I think that was maybe, you know, it wasn't sort of a spiteful thing, it was more, you know, them establishing their authority over, over like the younger kids. Oh, okay, I've got her now. So yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, so and yes, like I said, the problem was rectified very quickly, and I think they even became friends in the end, so it didn't last that long. So yeah, so we're lucky in that respect. But yeah, if you've got any insights or, you know, any sort of views on that sort of stuff, then please share them in your videos or in the comments or whatever. And yeah, I will speak to you all next week. If anyone's got any ideas for the theme. In fact, actually, I was thinking of scrapping the theme idea and just sort of like just doing vlogs. But like maybe we can sort of, you know, address what each other's said in our vlogs. Like if we've got something in particular we want to talk about, then you can maybe do that. I don't know. Let me know what you think anyway. Just because we're sort of running out of ideas and it's just getting a bit difficult to sort of communicate them and stuff. So let me know what you think on that. And yeah, I'll see you next Monday. Take care, everyone. Bye. Oh, and thank you to all our new subscribers as well, by the way. We've got like 130 odd now, which is great. So keep them coming, subscribe. Bye.